Hey guys, I hope you are well. I've come bearing some interesting news, and I'm privileged to be the first to bring it to you. This is the case with Enri's attempted restraining order against ZDT. And I think before we start, we need to take a moment of silence. A moment of silence for Dash and Grandma. A moment of silence for Chop Chop Danny. A moment of silence for Tink. A moment of silence for Sheep Show. All of these people, they were able to enjoy ZDT's victory for 24 hours, and what a beautiful 24 hours it was for those stupid idiots. But the bad news for them, and we need to keep them in our thoughts and prayers, is that ZDT lost. Enri was successful in getting a restraining order against ZDT. So even though DOA was not successful, guess what? This is under Judge Okoa, Melanie Okoa, who's dealt with the Solomon RO case. So she knew Tony's games, ZDT's chicanery, and what he was up to. And I think one of the reasons DOA lost is because maybe he had a less friendly judge. And if a judge doesn't know that ZDT has his concerted and consistent pattern of going after people and wasting court resources, you might be more reticent to grant some of these ROs. You might say it's simply free speech. With Enri and DOA, it might simply be free speech. But the judge is realizing ZDT's efforts go beyond that. The big argument that the reason the judge granted the RO to Enri is because ZDT had all this evidence, but Enri had these direct statements, one of them saying that if Enri continues to stream, that he better be careful or face the consequence. And ZDT director said, oh, that's a threat. That's a promise. So again, he made that direct threat. And Okoa said that ZDT never really disputed anything that was being said, that there was no specific, well, I didn't make that threat or I didn't say that. They tried to use arguments. They tried to say, well, Enri was talking smack about ZDT, but ultimately he's proven that ZDT started the back and forth and was a lot more vitriolic and was a lot more violent, and his rhetoric resulted in direct threats, and it was a different type of rhetoric than what Enri was serving back at him. So very successful, and what this shows is you better hope you get your case in front of Okoa, because Okoa is not, she is not suffering the fool of ZDT gladly whatsoever. And of course, the Solomon, they'll be the same judge, I believe, so on the 19th we'll talk about that. But very big news. I thought Enri might have been very much a goner because this is more about free speech. But Enri, it's something that DOA wasn't necessarily able to do as effectively, is Enri was able to pinpoint a specific threat with the exact words of ZDT using a specific threat. So again, it goes beyond the free speech, and perhaps if there's nothing direct, it's going to be much tougher to get an RO. But if there's something in there, if there's some there, and remember, if I'm Mindy or I'm Nora, there's a lot more there than what Enri had. So if Enri could win, they could certainly win. But the there was the direct threat. At least there was something that was very direct that couldn't be interpreted as violence. I'm surprised. I thought it would get dismissed, but it's not. So if there are other people that are looking to get ROs against ZDT, Mindy and Nora have it slam dunk. If RO was granted to Enri for this situation, it's automatic to the other two. And if there are others that might have, or Vanessa LaRose would be another one that has a slam dunk case. If there are others that maybe their outer lies haven't been as effective, I thought that would be the line of demarcation. I thought that's what would make the difference. Would ZDT go outside and ruin their lives outside of the internet? But you don't need to just do that. Obviously, what's clear is Okoa said that ZDT never even attempted to defend himself or deny anything. So there's a lot of people who could look at potential ROs. But again, a moment of silence for all the ZDT fans. I know they're butthurt right now. This is how they get their validation from this creepy guy who looks like the Crypt Keeper living in his basement, who's pissed off every woman, who messages every woman. I know this. The amount of women that he's constantly messaged is insane. And so I think he gets rejected by about 5 women every week at least. Thank God. And another little note thing, it's been proven that ZDT has a gun that he shouldn't have. He's already violated Solomon's RO. As part of this RO, he also has a physical stay-away order from Enri, and he has to get rid of the gun. So, very good news, and I will be out on the 19th and 20th to actually be there in person to give you more of a play-by-play, but wanted to announce the good news. I know that there are ZDT people who are hurting, and I'm sure that ZDT will grift off and lie and say he needs to pay more money for his incompetent penguin-like lawyer, and people will follow through. But you can tell that he doesn't have a leg to stand on, and the wall is crumbling from within. So, good news for all the people who hate ZDT, and again, my condolences to all the fans. Take care. Bye-bye.